KNOC Hard Rockology Show, Chris and Matt, and we are joined in the studio tonight with members of Dead Legend. We have Nico Johns and Otis Paul Smith. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good.
Got here fine with the traffic and everything?
Oh, yeah, no one can drive in the rain out here in California, but, it's okay.
That's what my brother was saying in the first segment. As soon as it rains here, it's like all bets are off and how long it's going to take you to get to point B.
It's crazy. It's just water, people. It's just water.
Yeah, that's true. So you guys got a new record out, or it's been out for a year now. Tell us a little bit about that. It's called Plan-I?
No, actually, it's self-titled.
Self-titled?
Yeah, self-titled Dead Legend. We've had some difficulties with drummers. I
was going to get to that part.
Yeah. We've our first drummer, he actually got shot, and so we had put the album out it was called The Last Stand at that point.
Okay.
And then we ended up getting another drummer, and he was a guy from Brazil, and he actually came in and re-recorded the drums on it, which was a big mistake in hindsight, and he ended up freaking out, and he ended up trying to steal the website, the song, the band name, everything from us and all this stuff. So we're still probably going to have to go through some legal stuff. That version was called Plan-I.
Okay.
And so finally we remixed it, remastered it and everything with the original drummer, and that's what's on there right now, and it's the debut. It's just self-titled.
So the songs you can get on iTunes is with your original drummer, what's his, Tommy?
Yeah, Tommy Bavardos.
That's the one who got shot, right?
Yeah.
So what happened with that story?
Well, if any of you have any Greek friends out there, they got some pretty big mouths, so it's, and the big guys you don't really have to worry about it. See, the small guys, they're going to bow up on these guys and want to get in fights with them and stuff, but, they're really going to get their butts kicked. So, Tommy just talked too much, and someone just tried to kill him. And he was out on a shooting range out in Arizona, and he was walking back to his car and said he felt the shooting pain in his ass. It missed his junk, went right down his leg, and the bullet lodged itself in his knee.
Oh.
And they can't take it out of his knee because if he does, he has to have a whole knee replacement. And this was the guy's kick leg, too. So, his kick drum foot is gone. And so the cops can't pull that out to, check the
ballistics or
ballistics.
anything.
There you go, yeah.
Ooh.
So, it's kind of a bummer, too, because, we thought, oh, okay, well, they'll pull the bullet out and he'll be all fine, but it didn't work out like that. So it was really a career-ending injury for Tommy, So
you guys have been looking for drummers forever, then?
Yeah, it's kind of
What happened to the dime a dozen thing?
Yeah, dime a dozen, yes, but the ones that are really good is the really hard thing. I mean, Tommy, okay. I don't say this lightly either. I've owned a recording studio since 1995, and I'm a producer, and I'm really, really picky. So, but I really consider Tommy to be the best drummer of his generation, and it's hands down. I mean, I haven't seen anybody that really comes close to him. The guy we're playing with now, Ryan Gio, he's a studio gun out of L.A., and he really has picked up the slack a lot. I mean, he's really good, definitely up there in the level and everything like that, but he's a studio guy, so we pay him to come out and play with us, and we have a good time. He knows the songs, he plays everything great, but at the same time, it's not the permanent situation.
Well, when you have like a studio guy, is it a whole different ballgame playing live then, right?
Yes and no. I mean, most studio guys will play what you want them to play because, you're paying them, so you don't have to worry about some guy changing up something and all of a sudden he wants to, go crazy on the drums in this part, and it's like, no, dude, please, you're messing me up, I mean, I'm playing bass and singing at the same time here. You can't be messing me up like that, A few licks here or there, it kind of trick me, but, if you're playing something totally different, it's just, it's not the way the song was written, It's
yes.
like, we sat there going over literally every single note. So, changing something up it's kind of irritating to me anyways.
Yeah. So who plays the keyboards?
I do actually, but I obviously can't play them live, so we do sample those live. We just actually we throw them on an iPod and throw
really?
right through there. Yeah, so it works out great.
Okay.
We have the click going through one side and the iPod going through the other, so the drummer knows where we're at, and So we just go from there, and,
A little bit easier bringing your bass guitar than bringing a whole keyboard.
It
right?
is. I actually do play one solo on the album, and I do that live every now and then, but I just recently broke my keyboard. I shattered some of the keys on it, so it's kind of too hard to transpose the solo with that. So,
Well, I was going to ask you, keys-wise, that was one of the things that he had said. He goes, there's this band that's nominated for the, LA Music Awards, and he said, give them a listen. There's like a 3-piece, but there's a lot of keys and keyboards in there. So I wanted to ask you, because I gave it a listen, and I actually like the keys on there a lot. So what's your, as far as inspirational-wise, because I hear a little bit of a lot of different players out there, was there any particular keyboard player or organist or anything like that you were drawn to?
No, not really. Like I said, I've owned a recording studio for a long time, and I grew up with organ. My dad played it, and played in a couple bands before that with organ, and I was always into guys like Craig Raleigh and guys from the Black Crowes and stuff like that. But as far as like real influence on keyboards, this is only my second band actually that I've been in that had keyboards. For a long time I was like, who needs keyboards in the band? And then finally I played with a guy who was really good, and it had so much fullness and so much to the song that I just couldn't live without it after that. So he was obviously not in this band, so I was like, all right, what can I do here? And I just kind of went through and was like, wow, I can really do this. Okay. So we'll go through and...
because I noticed the keys go hand in hand with the guitar. It's almost like you're having the keys being the rhythm guitar and the lead guitar, which I guess is you, Otis, right?
Right. Yeah, the keys definitely, they add something that, for example, we had a show that was actually a pretty big show with the guy that was causing us problems with the drummer, and during the show he actually turned off he turned off the iPod, and so all of a sudden the keys were gone. And a lot of people were like, hey, what happened, man? After the show, what happened to the keys? It's like they were there for the first couple songs, and then all of a sudden, click, he turns the thing off, and he's just winging it. And so there goes the tempos and everything start going crazy, and it just kind of just got small sounding. It became a lot smaller. And
his logic being he thought it sounded better better without the keys.
Right.
So it's like, why do we even have these things there? It's like, dude, it's like taking out the second guitar in the band,
like I said, it's like a second guitar.
Yeah, it's part of your sound.
It is part of the sound.
It is a rhythm. And
it's like taking the keys out of Yes.
It's not just a backup like something in the background that's just sitting back there. It's the that fullness combined with the guitars, I think, really help, just as far as like our sound, our whole identity of what we're going for.
Well, that being said, to avoid any of these problems in the not so distant future, are you guys thinking about maybe bringing in a keyboard player or somebody else to fill in?
Probably not. We would consider doing a permanent drummer, but we haven't found anybody yet that is of the caliber of Tommy or Ryan. So we would definitely take Ryan. We'll most likely be recording with him for our next album. But, he's so busy. The guy plays in I think 6 or 7 different bands, and he's always doing studio work. So he's really one of the top guys in LA right now. So it's kind of hard to get guys like that making that kind of money to come say, hey, come play in our band for free. It's just a lot of the time it doesn't work like that. So, we really right now, the reason I didn't want to go into a whole big giant band, my last band was actually a 7-piece.
Oh, okay.
And, too many roosters in the hen house. I got 2 guys I got to deal with, 1 really now. And it's like, okay, we make the decisions, we got everything, we want to do with it. We don't have to worry about, 5 guys trying to agree on one thing for each single part and listening through it. It's just too many arguments, and I've broke up so many bands in the middle of just, recording something that's going to be great, but it just disappears because...
Well, it's like all the great 3-piece bands, their members stay throughout the entirety.
Exactly. You got 2 or 3 guys you got to deal with, and that's it.
Yeah, so I could deal with those 2 guys, or 1 guy or whatever. Rush is the same 3 guys. Triumph was the same 3.
Triumph, Triumph. They were great. They were real good. So, I'll go back and forth between the keys and the bass sometimes. If I ever do play the solo or anything live, we have the bass that's going through the iPod, and so, just has to work out that way. Soundmen usually don't like it, but what can you do?
Well, I was going to ask you guys, how did you and Otis wind up getting together? Did you guys always work together, or is that something that you guys came across each other and said, hey, let's see if we can work together and do something here, or...
We've actually known each other since we were in high school, and but we never played together before this band.
Okay.
And I had broken up with my last band, which is funny you say that the keys are kind of like the guitar. That was the whole idea behind this last band I had. It was like the guitar is the keyboards and he's playing along with the guitar. But you know, that band had broke up, and I was getting something new together, and I was trying to find myself a guitar player to play with. And we hung out in the same circle for the last, you know, however many years. And, you know, I ended up seeing Adam at a party, and I kept calling him and asking him, hey, come down and listen to the music, see what you think. Hey, come down and listen. So it took me a year. And finally I saw him at this party. I said, dude, if you do not come down this week, I'm finding somebody else. Because I had known how he played, and I knew that he would fit this. So
that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, so I bugged him so much, and he finally came down. And
playing hard to get.
Exactly, you know. Damn it, Otis. So, but we ended up getting together, and we've been together about 4 years now. Mm. And you know, we actually had the album done within about a year and a half, and then Tommy got shot. And then we found this other guy, and we started playing again, and then he freaks out and tries to steal the songs. I mean, I get on our website one day, and it's all changed into Portuguese. And all the band members' names have been changed. I'm like, what the hell's going on here, you know? So we finally, you know, got everything back to normal and everything. But it's been a challenge just keeping a drummer in the bands, you know? That's one of the hard things.
So you guys have been nominated by the LA Music Awards, which is next week,
yes,
the 15th. Sir. So how did you find out about that?
Well, we kind of stumbled upon it by accident. I actually was doing a little bit of research because a friend of ours that's in another rock band called Zen Rising, they actually participated in the LA Music Awards probably 2 years ago and actually won. They won for, I think, Best Rock Band of the Year, if I'm not mistaken. And so I was like, wow, you know, that's pretty cool. You know, we would, you know, like to check into this as well. So I actually saw something on a music, like an A&R website called Music X-Ray, and they had submissions, and it was the first thing I saw. That they were still accepting submissions for this year's awards, and I was like, oh wow, it's, you know, we still got like another month or so. So, and it's funny too because this is actually before we had finished remixing and mastering the finished record, which was actually really was finished this. I mean, what, like a couple months ago? It was actually October because the deadline was September 1st. So, you know, we submitted something with the old tracks, which they liked. And we got an email saying, yeah, you know, we like what you guys are doing. And then I got a phone call from the guy that runs the show, and he said, I'd like to give you guys a nomination, you know. And then the next time I talked to him, I said, you know what, I want to give you guys another nomination. We want to give you guys 2 nominations if you guys are interested. And we're like, wow, that's great, man. That's totally cool.
Yeah, Best Hard Rock Band too.
So yeah, the first, yeah, they said exactly. Rock Single of the Year for Numbers Down, and then he offered the Hard Rock Band of the Year as well. We were like, wow, that's awesome, man. That's really cool.
So you put the submission in. That's how you go about doing it. They don't go out looking for bands. You have to put the submission.
Right. You have to give them a submission. I mean, I think he said that they have roughly, they get around, I don't know, 10,000 songs or so every year.
This is worldwide too. So
yeah.
And they narrow it down to 5, and then they give the people.
Yeah, because another band you guys are nominated against, we had on the show a couple of weeks back.
Oh, Snoo. Really?
We had Snoo on.
Okay, right, okay. Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys know them.
Actually, I was talking to the guys at the voting party. Yes. Yeah,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're pretty excited about it too.
Nice,
so wishing both of you bands the best of luck with that.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that was one of the things we wanted to make sure, because we listened to, I think there's 5 bands that are nominated, and out of the 5 bands, the 2 bands that we wanted on the show were, of course, Snoo and Dead Legend. So we're glad we got both of you guys on the show.
And the other 3 bands, I did nothing against the other bands, but it wasn't what we were looking for, I guess. I don't know. But
yeah. So that being said, you guys are going to try to do a couple acoustic songs for us. So these guys are going to go ahead and set up, and in the process of setting up, we're going to play a couple tracks off their debut album. First track we're going to drop down for you guys is nominated for Best Hard Rock Song of the Year, Numbers Down. So go ahead and Jason, why don't you